Borodar, welcome to Expansive. I am Yar TTomlliw. Now this Thoth isn't the inventor of writing an alphabet, nor a scribe of the underworld, but it does have all the hallmarks of a classic arcade shooter. Developed by former Playdead lead Jeppe Carlson, the atmosphere and effects will remind you of his work on the likes of Limbo and Inside, but the gameplay is a complete left turn from everything he's done to date. Supposedly this is the game he's always wanted to make, and it was even part of his original pitch to work at Playdead, and it oozes a distinct charm and quality that helps it stand apart from others in the genre. Now at first glance it seems to be a twin-stick shooter in a similar category to Stardust and Resogun, mixed in with 140 which we reviewed a few weeks back, but it's one where you'll die, and you're gonna die, and you're gonna die some more, because death really isn't eternal in here. But there is a simplicity and minimalism about the game as you're essentially steering a white dot around a retrograde backdrop, shooting at squares with pulsating essence within. And at a base level it really is that simple, but as you beat more and more levels and the difficulty amplifies and the background changes and the music becomes darker and more sinister, you'll detect more subtle undertones, especially when it comes to boss battles. And the game will only checkpoint if you beat a boss. You start at level 64 and gradually work your way down. If you fail, you move back to the previous checkpoint, which would have been 4 levels previously, the ambience of the game gradually changing as you go. So what you're actually working towards is all part of the mystery, whether or not it's Armageddon or inspiration. That is part of the lure which makes sure you will stick with Thoth. And there's a distinct quality that makes the experience a little unsettling, putting you on edge, which ironically helps you look past what is essentially a very simplistic game and appreciating on a level you wouldn't have expected. But despite its looks, Thoth plays brilliantly. It's extremely addictive, in the category of Super Meat Boy for replayability, and the handling is very smooth and elegant. There's a tactical element to it as well, as if you're shooting the dot will move slower, whereas if you take your finger off the fire button you can escape several certain death situations by moving around much more quickly. And each board is different, whether you've got barriers in the way, whether the enemies are slightly different and their attacking patterns vary, such as shooting projectiles at you or splitting the board in half. You're gonna need a gamepad to play this. There are no words conveyed to the player in Thoth. There's not even a press start option at the beginning of the game. You're literally just presented with numbers and shapes. The only communication with the player is the new mechanics gradually added to the game which force you to learn them in order to survive and understand how to finish the game. And as a result, Thoth is a refreshing change of pace and it's a very enjoyable shooter. It's not going to be sold by its assets or any video, but you just need to play the game and understand it to really recognise what it brings to the table. You can even play it cooperatively with a buddy or jump into a challenge mode. It won't set the world alight or change your perspective of the genre, but elements of it will stay with you long after you finish playing, and the satisfactory victory will certainly not be denied. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We'll see you next time.